Hello guys, this is me. Oh, I like lasagna with cheese.
I love it.
You love lasagna?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Lasagna is juicy, just like your pussy.
Let's talk about why Dead by Daylight might be going free to play either next year or the year after.
Lol, she doesn't even play Dead by Daylight in the first place. But anyway, I'm sorry for this long and weird intro. If you are not a fat gorilla, then make sure to subscribe and let's talk about why I believe that Dead by Daylight will be going free to play eventually. Okay, so I know that it's too early for me to make this video because Dead by Daylight will not go free to play anytime soon. I mean, at least not this year. And later in this video, I will tell you how we know that Dead by Daylight is not going free to play this year, and also I will tell you why I believe almost 100% that Dead by Daylight will eventually go free to play. To be honest, I decided to make this video right now because I had no ideas for what video to make, so I thought fuck it, I'm gonna talk about this. So it's a fact that according to today's gaming standards, Dead by Daylight is overly monetized game. Think about it, Dead by Daylight is not a free to play game. To play this game you gotta pay money. After buying Dead by Daylight for your real money, you get access to 5 killers. Basically, this game has over 30 different killers and you only are able to access 5 of them. And the same thing applies to survivors, you don't get access to all of them immediately. Yes, you can play this game for hundreds of hours and grind in-game currency to access those killers and survivors, but you will not be able to get licensed characters for iridescent shards. Instead, you will have to spend your money on those characters despite the fact that you paid for the game. All of these characters got different perks attached to them, and basically you will not be able to access these perks if you don't purchase these characters. There's Shrine of Secrets in the game, it's possible to get these perks for free, but there's a very little chance that the perk you want to access will appear in your Shrine of Secrets, so the best way to get every single perk you want is to spend money, and yeah, it makes this game pay to win. Speaking of that, there are so many pay to win free to play games, especially for mobile phones, but it applies for every single gaming console. And guess what? The difference between a typical free-to-play pay-to-win game and Dead by Daylight is that to access Dead by Daylight, you got to pay money for this game. So that's kind of crazy in my opinion. And those are not the only ways for you to spend money on Dead by Daylight. There's an in-game store where you can spend money on any skin for any character you want, and yeah, you are able to spend hundreds of dollars if you want to. Also, Dead by Daylight has a battle pass. For 10 bucks once in a while, you can purchase this battle pass, and the battle pass, also known as the Rift Pass in this game, will allow you to grind this game for some extra rewards. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the battle pass. In fact, I love the fact that Dead by Daylight has battle passes and I purchase them almost every single time. I love the rewards it gives. It also gives your currency back. But think about it, this game has an in-game shop and also a battle pass, and what does it remind you of? To me it sounds just like Overwatch, Valorant, Fortnite, Rocket League. But what's the difference between Dead by Daylight and all of these games that I just mentioned? Well, the difference is that Dead by Daylight is a paid game, while all of these other games with the same monetization schemes, they are free to play. So basically, if you don't want to pay for those games, you don't have to spend even a single penny to play them. I mean, PUBG used to be in a very similar spot where Dead by Daylight is right now. It used to be a paid game with an in-game store and with a battle pass, and eventually that game went free to play. And you know, Dead by Daylight is still a paid game, which makes me think that it would be logical for Dead by Daylight to follow PUBG and become a free-to-play game. After all, the most popular games these days are free-to-play games, and Dead by Daylight has no competition whatsoever. It's the most popular game in the genre. I would say that Dead by Daylight is not exploding and it's not like a top-tier game just because of its price tag. A lot of people just just see that price tag and they're like, nah, I'm going back to playing Fortnite or something like that. I believe that when you drop the price tag and when you say, hey, play our game, it's completely free to play. Now you have to trust me. If Dead by Daylight goes free to play, more people will be tempted to try this game. And many people will not stick with this game because this game is very difficult to get into. But many people will get hooked on the addictive nature of this game. And trust me, it will help this game to grow. And in fact, this game going free to play will help people to organize different esports tournaments. I know that this game is not a competitive game, but a free to play nature will open imagination of gamers, and trust me, this would bring so much of attention to Dead by Daylight. Going free to play would also justify many of these shady monetization schemes that people dislike, and they are already in Dead by Daylight. I know that they will never be removed because why would developers remove something that brings them money, you know what I mean? But going free to play would kind of justify some of it. You know how I know that Dead by Daylight will eventually go free to play? Not only it's a very popular business model these days, but also Dead by Daylight was already free to play for the Epic Games Store users. Basically, I think last year you could take Dead by Daylight for free on the Epic Games Store and keep it forever. And that month was incredibly successful for this game. So many new players tried Dead by Daylight, and I know your concerns of this game going free to play. It's the same shit as it applies to any free to play game: cheating. And yeah, Dead by Daylight has a cheating problem. In my opinion, it's not as big of a deal as many people make it to be, because I don't get to play against many cheaters. But if this game went free to play, it would definitely increase cheating in this game. So I believe that bhvr has some work to do, and that's why they are not rushing to make this game free to play. I believe that they got some work to do when it comes to anti-cheat improvements, because look at PUBG for example. That game went free to play with one of the worst, if not the worst, anti-cheat systems in gaming history, and look how it is right now. I love PUBG, it's one of my favorite games of all time, but I don't play it anymore because of cheaters. There are so many cheaters, it's just insane. And yeah, I'm a bit afraid that it would happen to Dead by Daylight, but if that's the only business model that is sustainable in 21st century, I don't see a reason how cheaters would discourage developers from making this decision. I mean, the decision of making their game free to play. It would also bring not only more players, but also more money to developers long term, so it would be a great decision to improve their greediness, I would say. But Dead by Daylight is not going free to play this year, because we already got a roadmap for this year with all of the improvements that we can anticipate for this year. And I believe that the best time for Dead by Daylight to go free to play, the announcement should be on the anniversary as usual, because that's the time of the year when Dead by Daylight is getting crazy announcements. And if it's not next anniversary, I do believe that it's the anniversary after the next anniversary. So just wait for it. I believe that one anniversary we will be like surprised by developers saying our game is going free to play on this date. And everybody will be like, oh, what? And I will not be surprised, because I already know that this game will eventually go free to play, because if this game stays pay to play forever, I mean, that's not a sustainable business model, and that is actually how, in a long term, you kill Dead by Daylight. I mean, Dead by Daylight is not dying at the moment, but I can see this game dying sometime in the future. So yeah, I would say make it free to play, but improve your anti-cheat. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe for more Dead by Daylight videos, comment what do you think, and I will see you later. Ciao.